Listen carefully. Most men don't fail in dating because they are unattractive. They fail because they take words at face value. She says, "I'm not ready." You believe it. She says, "I'm just busy." You wait. She says, "You're such a nice guy." You smile, not realizing you just got disqualified. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Women don't always communicate directly. Not because they're evil, not because they're manipulative, but because communication is emotional, not literal. Men speak in facts. Women often speak in feelings. And if you don't understand the subtext, you'll always be confused. You'll overthink texts. You'll replay conversations. You'll wonder what went wrong. Meanwhile, the guy who understands energy, tone, and patterns, he never looks confused. In this video, I'm going to break down what she says versus what she often really means. Not to make you bitter, but to make you aware. Because once you understand the game, you stop playing it emotionally and start moving strategically. Let's begin. Let's start with a classic one. She says, "I'm not ready for a relationship right now." Most men hear this and immediately think it's about timing. They think, okay, maybe she needs space. Maybe she's healing. Maybe if I stay patient. So they wait. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of the time, it doesn't mean she's not ready for a relationship. It means she's not ready for a relationship with you. Harsh? Maybe. But powerful once you understand it. Because when a woman is genuinely attracted, not ready suddenly becomes. Let's see where this goes. Attraction changes timelines. High-interest women don't delay what excites them. Now listen carefully. This is not about blaming her. She's not lying to hurt you. She's softening rejection. It's easier to say, "I'm not ready," than to say, "I don't feel it." And that's human. The problem is not what she says. The problem is how you respond. Average men try to negotiate attraction. They convince. They overinvest. They prove their worth. High-value men, they accept it once. No arguing. No persuading. No emotional reaction. They pull back, because here's the rule. If it's not a clear yes, it's a no. And when you stop trying to convince someone to choose you, you start becoming the man who doesn't need to convince anyone. That's a shift. Calm acceptance and quiet detachment. That's attractive. She says, "I just need some space." And most men panic. They overthink. They double text. They ask, "Did I do something wrong?" They try to fix something that hasn't even been explained. But here's what you need to understand. When emotional attraction is high, space is rarely requested. When someone feels excited about you, they move closer, not farther. So when she says she needs space, it usually means one of three things. Her interest is dropping. She feels overwhelmed. Or she's uncertain about her emotions. And uncertainty kills attraction. Now here's where most men destroy their position. They try to close the distance. They text more, call more, explain more. They think effort will solve emotional distance. It won't. Effort without attraction feels like pressure. Pressure lowers attraction even more. High-value response? You give space. Calmly, confidently, without passive-aggressive energy. You don't punish. You don't beg. You don't disappear dramatically. You simply pull your energy back, because scarcity creates clarity. If she truly values you, she will feel the absence. If he doesn't, you just save yourself time. Understand this. Needing space is not the problem. How you react to it reveals your level. Average men react emotionally. High-value men respond strategically. They are not afraid of distance, because they know if someone needs distance to realize your value, you are already overinvested. And a man who isn't afraid to lose someone is a man whose heart is to replace. She says, "You're such a nice guy." Or worse, "You're too nice." Most men hear that as a compliment. They think, that's good, right? Being nice is good. Yes, but here's the part nobody explains. Nice is safe. Nice is predictable. Nice is comfortable. But attraction? Attraction needs polarity. It needs edge. It needs emotional stimulation. When she says you're too nice, it often means you don't challenge her. You don't create tension. You don't have strong boundaries. You're agreeable to everything. You're available anytime. You prioritize her over your own mission. And that kills mystery. Now let's be clear. Kindness is powerful. But kindness without backbone feels weak. High-value men are respectful, but they are not approval-seeking. They say no when needed. They disagree calmly. They don't laugh at every joke. They don't overpraise. They are warm, but grounded. Here's the shift. Stop trying to be liked. Start being real. Have opinions. Have standards. Have a life outside of her. Because attraction doesn't grow from being harmless. It grows from being composed, confident, and slightly unpredictable. So when she says, "You're too nice," don't become colder. Become stronger. Keep the kindness. Add boundaries. Keep the respect. Add edge. That's when nice guy turns into interesting man. And interesting men don't get friend-zoned. She says, "I've been really busy lately." And instantly, you want to be understanding. You say, "No worries. Take your time. Text me when you're free." Sounds mature, right? But here's what most men ignore. People are busy, but nobody is too busy. For someone they're excited about, we all make time for what feels important. When attraction is high, responses are quick, plans are made, energy is matched. When attraction drops, busy becomes a shield. Now listen carefully. This doesn't mean she's lying. She might actually be busy, but priority is a real indicator. High-value men don't argue with excuses. They observe patterns. Is she consistent? Is effort mutual? Is energy balanced? Or are you always initiating? Always planning? Always waiting? Here's a mistake average men make. They try harder. More texts, more effort, more proving. But attention given to low interest lowers your value. High-value response? Match energy. If replies slow down, you slow down. If effort drops, you pull back. If priority fades, you redirect your focus. Not emotionally, strategically, because chasing someone who is too busy puts you in a position of lower value. And the moment you compete for attention, you lose authority. Remember this. Interest looks like effort. Confusion looks like mixed signals. And mixed signals are usually low interest in disguise. The right person won't make you decode their effort. You'll feel it. And a man who understands that never wastes time trying to convince someone to make space for him. Bro, when she says, "Anything is fine. I don't mind." You choose. And suddenly, you freeze. You start listing options. Pizza? No. Sushi? Up to you. Coffee? Whatever you want. Now the vibe feels awkward. Here's what's really happening. Most of the time, it's not about the food. It's about decisiveness. When she says, "I don't care," it often means, "I want to see if you can lead." Leadership isn't about control. It's about clarity. High-value men don't overcomplicate simple decisions. They say, "Let's go here. Be ready at 7. I know a good place." Calm, direct, no nervous energy. Here's what kills attraction. Indecision, over-asking for approval, needing validation for every move. If you can't decide dinner, how can you decide direction? Women are emotionally wired to feel secure around certainty, not arrogance. Certainty. Now understand this. If she truly doesn't like the choice, she'll tell you, and that's fine. But the test isn't about being perfect. It's about being comfortable making a call. Average men seek consensus. High-value men create direction. So next time she says, "Anything is fine," smile, pick a place, move forward. Confidence in small things builds attraction in big things. She says, "I don't usually do this. I'm not normally like this." I don't know why I'm telling you this. Most men either overcelebrate or overthink, but here's what's often happening. When a woman says this, it usually means you triggered something emotional: comfort, excitement, chemistry, curiosity. She feels slightly out of a normal pattern, and that's a good sign, because attraction breaks routines. Now listen carefully. This doesn't mean you've won. This doesn't mean she's obsessed. It simply means you created emotional movement. And emotional movement is the foundation of attraction. But here's where average men mess it up. They get too excited, too available, too intense. They start thinking long-term, when the moment is still short-term. High-value men stay grounded. If she says, "I don't usually open up like this," you don't respond with, "Really? I'm special then." You respond calmly. You hold the frame. You let her feel safe, without making it dramatic, because the moment you act surprised by your own value, you lower it. Confidence means you're not shocked that someone is drawn to you. You expect connection, without needing to celebrate it. So when she says, "I usually don't do this," just smile. Stay composed. Keep leading the interaction naturally, because attraction grows best when it feels effortless, not when it feels like you're trying to lock it in. And the man who can stay calm when emotions rise is the man who keeps control of the dynamic. Bro, when she says, "I don't want to ruin our friendship. I see you more like a brother." And most men freeze. They smile. They say it's okay. They stay around, hoping one day it changes. But here's the truth. Attraction doesn't grow from waiting. It grows from polarity, tension, and emotional spark. When she says she sees you as a friend, it usually means romantic attraction is low. Not because you're a bad person, but because the dynamic became safe. Too safe. You listened to all her problems. You agreed with everything. You were always available. You never created mystery. You became emotional support, without romantic presence. Now here's a dangerous mistake. Staying in the friend zone, while secretly wanting more. That creates resentment, and resentment kills your confidence. High-value men don't beg for upgrades. They don't campaign for traction. If she says she only sees you as a friend, you have two options: accept genuine friendship with zero hidden agenda, or respectfully pull back and redirect your energy. What you don't do is linger in false hope, because here's the reality. You can't logically convince someone to feel chemistry. Attraction is emotional, not negotiable. And the moment you walk away calmly, without anger, without drama, that's when your value becomes visible. Sometimes she reconsiders, sometimes she doesn't. But either way, you protect your self-respect. And self-respect is more attractive than persistence without boundaries. Remember this. Friend zone is not a prison. It's feedback. And high-value men use feedback to improve, not to beg. She says, "It's up to you. Do whatever you want. I don't mind." Sounds neutral, but tone is everything. Sometimes it's genuine flexibility, but sometimes it's a test of your frame. Here's what most men do wrong. They hear, "Do whatever you want," and immediately switch into approval mode. Are you sure? Only if you're okay with it. What do you prefer? They start seeking reassurance. And that subtle shift, it lowers authority. Now understand this clearly. Confidence is not dominance. It's decisiveness without insecurity. When she says, "Do whatever you want," the high-value response is calm leadership. You decide, not aggressively, not arrogantly, just clearly, because indecision communicates doubt, and doubt reduces attraction. There's another layer too. Sometimes "do whatever you want" comes with slight emotional distance. It can mean, "I don't want to argue. I'm testing your direction. Show me you can handle this." This is where emotional control matters. Don't react emotionally. Don't push back defensively. Stay composed. Make the decision. Own it. And if she disagrees, you handle it calmly. Because leadership isn't about being right. It's about being stable. Average men look for permission. High-value men create direction. And when your energy says, I'm comfortable making decisions, you instantly shift the dynamic. Not louder, not forceful, just grounded. And grounded men are rarely questioned twice. She says, I'm fine. Short, flat, no eye contact. And you know, she's not fine. But most men make one of two mistakes. Mistake number one, they ignore it completely. Okay. And they move on. Mistake number two, they interrogate. What's wrong? Tell me. Did I do something? Why are you like this? Now the tension rises. Here's what you need to understand. I'm fine is rarely literal. It usually means, I'm upset but I don't want to explain it right now. I want you to notice the shift. I'm processing something. This is emotional communication, not logical communication. Men communicate in direct problems. Women often communicate in emotional signals. Now here's the high-value move. You don't ignore, but you also don't chase. You acknowledge calmly. You don't seem fine. Pause. If you want to talk about it, I'm here. And then you give space. No pressure. No begging. No overfixing. Because desperation to fix signals insecurity. Calm awareness signals strength. If she wants to open up, she will. If he doesn't, you don't lose composure. Emotional stability is attractive. Overreaction is not. Remember this. Your job is not to decode every emotion. Your job is to stay grounded while emotions fluctuate. Average men get pulled into emotional storms. High-value men remain steady during them. And the man who stays steady becomes the emotional anchor. And emotional anchors are hard to replace. She says, I don't like arrogant men. I don't like guys who are too confident. I prefer humble guys. And instantly, some men shrink. They tone themselves down. They soften their opinions. They become smaller. But here's the truth. Most women don't dislike confidence. They dislike arrogance. And many men confuse the two. Arrogance is loud. It needs validation. It dominates conversations. It tries to impress. Confidence is quiet. It doesn't need approval. It doesn't over-explain. It doesn't compete for attention. When she says she doesn't like confident guys, what she often means is, she doesn't like ego. She doesn't like disrespect. She doesn't like insecurity disguised as dominance. But real confidence? Calm voice, strong eye contact, clear boundaries, decisive actions. That's attractive. Here's where average men mess up. They either become overly cocky or overly agreeable. High-value men stay balanced. They can joke. They can disagree. They can lead. They can walk away without emotional spikes. True confidence is being comfortable, whether someone approves of you or not. And that's the real shift. When you stop adjusting your personality to avoid rejection, you start becoming magnetic. Because authenticity with stability is rare, and rare is valuable. Listen carefully, bro. This video was never about exposing women. It was about upgrading you. Because once you understand subtext, you stop reacting emotionally. You stop overthinking text. You stop chasing mixed signals. You stop trying to convince someone to choose you. And you start moving differently. Calmer, sharper, stronger. Here's the truth. Attraction is not negotiated. Respect is not begged for. Desire is not forced. It's felt. And the moment you become emotionally grounded, you become rare. Most men operate from fear. Fear of losing her. Fear of saying the wrong thing. Fear of not being enough. But high-value men, they operate from abundance. They know if someone walks away, it's information, not devastation. If interest drops, it's feedback, not failure. If words don't match actions, they observe, not argue. That's power. So from now on, bro, stop listening only to what she says. Watch patterns. Watch consistency. Watch energy. And most importantly, control yours. Because the man who controls his emotions controls the dynamic. The man who stays grounded wins long term. You don't need to be louder. You need to be steadier. You don't need to impress. You need to be unshakable. Stay sharp, bro. Stay disciplined. Stay emotionally strong. Because when you understand the game, you stop playing scared. And that's when everything changes. Let's level up.